Arsenal go through to the quarterfinals. Much deserved, in my opinion. And you know what? Fair play. Can't knock them. I'm not even joking. Like, even Dap said fair play. You know what? He's seen a different type of Arsenal. And there's probably a lot to dissect about this game. And I know like when you win on penalties, a lot of rivals tend to say, but they won on penalties. They just about got through. Then they're going to start nitpicking at different little bits and bobs. Arsenal were all over Porto. Let's get one thing straight. Porto did nothing, right? And they were very, very resilient. There's a lot of praise that you can put towards Porto's defense. Did they cause some issues? Yes. Did Arsenal solve them? Yes. Of course they did. They nullified their break. But before I get into the game, please, guys, smash the like button. Look, smash the like button if you don't mind. It goes a long, long way. It's much appreciated. Even if you're not subscribed to this channel, do subscribe if you like the content. But it does go a long way. It pushes to algorithms and you could literally change my life. How about that? But look, let's dive straight into the game. I'm a Man United fan, respectfully, if you don't know. I wear the shirt so people recognize, right? First half, boring. Until that man, the big game player, decides to show up, called Leandro Trossard. The ones that people were doubting, and I saw online, social media merchants anyways, oh, this is why Martinelli should be starting until that goal. Then they deleted the tweets. That's how it works. Then on Instagram, they start deleting this and that, deleting comments. Trossard, no joke, might be the equivalent to Arsenal as what Man City fans might see as Bernardo Silva. Nowhere near the ability, but in terms of big games, this is what we might be seeing. And I can't lie, I wasn't even alerted to that comparison. Somebody else did, and he's a Man City fan, right? He has his values still. He has his opinions, and I think they're very, very relevant. This just showed mentality. I saw an ugly Arsenal. I saw the ones that pushed. I can even bring him over in. He'll tell you the exact same thing. We are resonating the same opinion about Arsenal right now. That is just a different type of Arsenal, and that's probably one that we've all been saying, where is it, for a very, very long time. They got the job done, and respectfully so. And whether it's penalties or over extra time, it's a Champions League game because we were ready to call them bottle jobs, right? I was about to say this could hurt them in the league, right? I just thought, I was more impressed with that than probably any other game in a long while. And the last one that did impress me was actually the one they just faced against Brentford, because that is where you start seeing teams trying to part the bus, a bit like how every team does against Man City. And wherever it is, Man City go over the line, Liverpool get stuff over the line. And this is why it's a good comparison. You need to start putting respect on their name now. They're going into the quarterfinals. What did we say at the start of the season? Everyone did. I'm not joking. Where must Arteta get Arsenal in the Champions League this season? A lot of people said quarterfinals. So now that's happening. Now they're in a title race, top of the league. When is the narrative going to finally change? I'm not going to cap. There's a few players that didn't impress today. That's expected. They didn't pull their weight, you could say. They're not the usual performances. But at the same time, there's a few that did. And I have to start with one, right? And I'm ready to give him the world-class status. And I did get this, and I even asked someone very close to me, his name's Daps. I don't know if you lot recognize. I said, is it ready to start putting the world-class status on Declan Rice's name? And he said, if he wins the league, 100%. See, that man is just Mr. Consistency. It's a bit like Rodri. Rodri gives you the 8s, but he gives you the bit more, in my opinion. But of course, he doesn't even play as high as him. But at the same time, with Rice, I don't think he drops more than a 7 every game. The tackle the tackle in the 91st minute is a game changer. This guy's got a clutch gene on him. I'm so glad he's English. Clutch doesn't even mean goals and assists, which he has been getting, by the way, all over the season. It's just tackles, moments like that, lifts the crowd. Did you hear the roar of the crowd and every tackle that they were doing? The atmosphere at the Emirates, the fans, brilliant. That's not a library setting. The ones that we love to cuss, the ones that, I felt at Old Trafford last year when we were going and pushing against some of these teams. Obviously not in the same stages because we weren't in the Champions League. Declan Rice is such a wicked player, and I couldn't be more wrong about him at the start of the season. I might have to do a whole apology video on this guy. This guy is so good, and I don't know what weakness there is in his game, and I don't think he's limited to the attack. And that's why I said, do you view him as I need to know, people, do you view Declan Rice as more of a 6 or more of as an 8? Because I think he can do both positions just as well as the other. I'm going to be so honest. I can only count about 2 games where he dropped performances that weren't so great, and that's the ones where Arsenal lost against West Ham and stuff like that. And granted, that's fair, right? We're moving on to some of these other players. I thought there was another game changer. There's one that, we could talk about the defense. Arsenal's defense has been top of the top. Yeah, he didn't concede today, got a clean sheet. And I know you went to penalties and stuff. I don't care. There's another player on the field, and I'm going to big up the goalkeeper in a minute, right? And that man that changed the game for me was Gabriel Jesus. Now, this is where I believe you will need him, especially in the Champions League stages, when you can't unlock anything and you really need to pile on pressure like the way you did in the last 15, 20 minutes. It's Jesus, man. The amount of disrespect that gets put on that man's name at times is unbelievable. Yes, he's not a goal scorer, but what he does, he knows how to pick up the ball, dribble, and get out of tight spaces. And that's a fantastic option to have. Look at the way he was winning that ball back as well, dropping deep. Boy, very, very impressed. And I get it. Rivals are going to come and say they only won on penalties. Again, I was going to keep repeating this. It's not just penalties. It's more than that. People need to understand if it was your team, you'll be talking exactly the same, and just be fair and be objective about a team that got over the damn line. And you know who helped them get over the damn line? David Raya, not even known for his penalty saves compared to Diogo Costa. He's known for his penalty saves in the Champions League. They even notified it on the commentary. David Raya, big saves, and he nearly even got a third. That man is Dave saves. That's what we used to call R1. David De Gea. Dave saves. He knows how to save a penalty, and he's improved thoroughly over the season. His confidence went at the start a little bit shaky. Granted, most goalkeepers do when they go into a new environment and a bigger club. He got them over the line when it mattered. So, if he can continue doing that and continue to do more saves, especially in the Champions League, the status of, it's going to have to be a little bit different. Even the way when Porto were crossing the ball and trying to make something out of nothing, he was claiming it like no tomorrow from all their corners and everything. So it wasn't even just on the penalty shootout. It was more than that. That was top-notch performance clutch when you need the man the most to do the job that requires you to go through to the next round. Who you're going to get next, I don't know. But you might have a team that suits you more than Porto. People forget this. If you've got a bit more of an attacking team, Arsenal are thrashing them. This team is still young and is inexperienced in the Champions League. And what this does, give them a new sense of belief, a new sense of mentality as well, of course, because you got to think to yourself when you go through cup rounds, if you've ever played football, no matter what level it is, if you've gone through a high level, trust me, your mind switches. You start to believe, and there's nothing wrong with believing. Keeping yourself humble is obviously a different matter, but let Arsenal fans enjoy this win, because you know what? Needed them to go through. Tottenham fans can't be salty. Aston Villa fans can't, and Man United fans can't. You know why? Because we need those coefficient points. If you want to get fifth into the Champions League, I'm sorry, you have to start supporting a little bit and start wagging your tail if you want to get where you want to. If not, then fair play. You don't have to. Who am I to police you what to do? But yeah, look, big win for Arsenal. I was severely impressed, and that we saw a different Arsenal today. What a shift! And in my opinion, yeah, I think this will go into the league. This will go into the league 100%. What a win just before Man City as well. But yeah, guys, big up yourselves. That's all I'm going to say. Please smash the like button on the way up. Please subscribe if you're new. If you like this content, of course, much appreciated. And yeah, man, I can't wait to read some of the comments.